and welcome to Yesterday's Airlines. In today's video, I'm going to be unboxing one of my recent arrivals. I buy quite a lot of models from China direct via Taobao, and one of the models that arrived in the last couple of weeks, but has been sitting in my backlog for a while, has been this really lovely Patriot Models DC-10 prototype. So this is the model which I'm going to be unboxing in this video. So we'll get her out, have a look, give my opinion, take her for a spin on the turntable as usual. Patriot have featured in videos at Yesterday's Airlines previously. I got their Boeing KC-33-747 tanker release and did a video of that not long ago. I've also picked up a couple of their smaller prop releases, and they have another DC-10 release as well, which I also have got. In fact, it came with this one. Here it is. And this one, the firefighting version, this will be appearing, I'll probably do a review of this at the website maybe. But in this video, we're going to focus on the prototype DC-10, which was released, it's probably released actually a couple of months ago now. But obviously these have begun trickling out to Western markets a little bit more. Now, I talked a bit about Patriot in my previous video, so catch that if you want to learn more about Patriot. But the short of it is that they are an up-and-coming brand from China that are making a range of quite unusual and interesting aircraft, often with additional elements like the KC-33-747 tanker, like that air tanker DC-10, that's not an air refueling tanker, that's a fire service tanker. And so they are often picking more unusual subject matter and using brands like HX Models, and in this case Aeroclassics, to produce the models and then taking them away and adding extras and doing these more intricate boxes and making a more premium product than you would normally get. Patriot are growing quite fast and doing quite well, and it does seem like they're beginning to get more of a presence outside of China. For example, Bedfordshire Diecast in the UK will be stocking Patriot models, as are West Coast Diecast in Canada, Yankee Victor 400 in Texas as well. So check out those retailers. All of those are good, solid retailers and good friends of the channel, and well worth looking at what they've got in stock if you're interested in the Patriot model releases that are up and coming. But in this video, we're going to be checking out this DC-10. Now, before I get to that, as always, don't forget to chuck a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Always appreciate people tuning in and watching my material. Don't forget to check out yesterdaysairlines.com, where I do a lot more detailed work in analysing the models, analysing the molds, looking at releases, that kind of thing. And as I say, the other Patriot DC-10 is likely to get a written release. But for now, let's get on and have a look at this beauty. Now, before I get started with the Patriot release, it is worth reiterating that the Patriot model is based off of the Aeroclassics DC-10, and this model you're seeing in front of you is not the Patriot release. This is an Aeroclassics DC-10. It is a prototype as well, but it is a prototype for the Series 30, not the Series 10. So this is the Aeroclassics DC-10 mold. It's a really good DC-10. It's not perfect, but few molds are. But broadly, it's got everything in the right place and looking good. Fuselage, wings, tail, all of that looks really nice, and it is a very good DC-10. Obviously, when you're buying Aeroclassics releases, there are two things you're not getting. You're not getting detailed undercarriage. So here, this DC-10 has quite simple tie hubs, as you would expect from Aeroclassics releases, and you don't get aerials either. The owner doesn't believe in these things. You're also typically not getting the highest quality of print. This is actually an older Aeroclassics, and to be fair, older Aeroclassics releases are in general better than modern ones, rather oddly. But this is a very nice release. Broadly nowadays, Aeroclassics printing is not up to the standard of a lot of brands, but I still buy a lot of the stuff because they're classics. Anyway, This is an Aeroclassics DC-1030, and the model that Patriot produced here is a DC-1010. So let's get on and investigate that. So first up, obviously, one of the things that happens with Patriot is you get these lovely flip-top boxes. It's a lot more premium, the product here, than you're getting typically from most brands in 400 scale. These are very much like the Ultimate Collection boxes that NG are using. So it's a really nice box with a magnetic flip-top aspect to it, really well designed and attractive. And inside you also get a little leaflet, a little envelope, had something similar with the KC-33, and when you look inside this, you get a nice little postcard of the model, mirroring the box art. It's a really nicely designed box art. You've got the Long Beach facility that McDonnell Douglas products were built at, and the aircraft, really nice. And you also get inside here a collector's card, which, you know, like a credit card. And you find this is quite a lot on more premium products nowadays. And this one tells me that this is number 184 of 300 aircraft that have been made. It's really nice, has a nice feel to it. These things, you know, I don't display them, but they add a little something to the model. It's nice to feel you're getting that premium product. Also in the box, if we take off the foam packaging, and it's not a plastic cradle, you get foam packaging. You can see there's a compartment for a stand, and you get what is admittedly a fairly standard plastic stand, but it's nice to get a stand nonetheless, so that's always good. I've got tons of these stands in my collection. They're generally solid. They're not the most beautiful stand. They're certainly not as nice as the HX model stands, but they're nice and they do the job well, so that'll be good. Now, if we can look at the actual model, obviously it's in the plastic and foam container here. I'll take her out. And here we go. So we've got the Patriot DC-1010 prototype aircraft. Now, my understanding is that Patriot have really been pushing the Aeroclassics factory to make a better quality product than they usually can manage. So the print work is a little crisper, a little nicer. They've not been as accepting as perhaps Aeroclassics are of lazy printing and poor design. And so that's nice to see. There are also two other things which immediately jump out to you with this model, the things that Aeroclassics DC-10s don't have. Tires with hubs and aerials. So again, my understanding is that Aeroclassics did the initial manufacturing, and then the models were sent to Patriot, and Patriot have added on the things that Aeroclassics don't do. I think that's what happened. I don't think it was done at the AEC factory. I think that it was done by Patriot. Anyway, the overall finish here is really nice, and because it's a nice DC-10 base, the aerials and the tires, they work really well on that as well. And the print work all looks very attractive, and I don't know how close we can get, but you can see that you've got, I'm pretty close, the airline logos for delivery customers on the aircraft there. So airlines like SAS and Swiss Air, Iberia, Alitalia, those kind of airlines, American Airlines, United. And they're printed well, actually. You can work out pretty much what all of them are with the naked eye, which is nice. In fact, the printing here is generally good. You can see you've got this experimental by the door, looks really nice. And actually, they've done a very good job here with the print work across the model. Can't really fault that. And this new updated landing gear, which is still not on Aeroclassics DC-10s, just on these Patriot ones, looks really good and shows what you can do quite simply if you're really putting a bit more effort into your models. Overall, looks really good. Now, one thing to bear in mind here is that although this is a DC-1010, and you can tell easily it doesn't have the central gear, the mould that Aeroclassics have isn't technically a DC-1010, it's a DC-1030. So the wingspan here is a little bit bigger than it should be for a DC-1010. It's not enormously noticeable. And the only brands really that have tried hard with DC-10s to make the wingspan correct has been Dragon Wings, and that mould is long dead. So you just have to accept that the wingspan isn't quite correct. I've also seen some complaints about the shape of the cockpit windows, but personally I'm not overly bothered and they look pretty good to me. So first impressions of the model are really good. It comes in an excellent box, comes with a nice stand, lovely little extras, really good printing. The aerials and the updated undercarriage look really good and haven't got a lot of major issues. Bringing her around to the front. She looks good, but you can see, you still have limitations when you're using Aeroclassics. For some reason, the inner fan blades of the engines appear to be unpainted. So it's pretty sloppy work by the AC factory, but not surprising. That's the sort of thing you see quite regularly on some AC products. But minor point, but nonetheless. Overall, she's looking good. Let's get her up on to the stand. So here she is, up on her stand, without my fingers in the way. I do think it's looking really, really lovely, this DC-10. Very nice, and certainly very comparable to the DC-1030 that Aeroclassics made, but with those improvements in the undercarriage and the aerials. And they do make a significant difference, I think, and make the aircraft look more realistic, and certainly make it look more modern from a 400 scale perspective. Aeroclassics is definitely an outlier in not updating its undercarriage well. Even when they have tried, often they've not done a very good job and not using aerials. So looking really nice. So we'll put her up onto the turntable now. Here we go, and on to the turntable. And the natural metal belly really gleams very nicely. It's really good to see classics that are, aren't using the Aeroclassics standard and have been upgraded. I think that's a nice thing to see as well. I'd love to see more of this kind of thing. I really like the Aeroclassics DC-10, so full marks to AC for having an excellent base mold, but it's nice to see it updated with aerials and rolling gear in this case. Obviously, it would be nice if the wings were the right wingspan, but it's a very small difference. From my opinion, one that doesn't have a big impact on the model itself. And here we go with both of the DC-10 prototype models in 400 scale side by side. So the DC-10 Series 30 by Aeroclassics, quite an old model, and the new DC-1010 from Patriot, both looking excellent. But you can see here the improvements that the aerials and the landing gear have provided. Otherwise, the differences between the two models are quite slim, especially because the main livery difference is the Series 30 on the tail of the later variant. But both looking very nice. And I'll finish up here with the Patriot version up on her stand, just to give you that different angle. Really pleased with the model. I think she will go very well in my manufacturer's house colors section. Really liking the packaging that's been put into this, and really liking the ethos of Patriot and what they're trying to do here by making slightly more unusual models, making models which require add-ons and such as well. It provides an extra level of interest. Obviously, these models are a little bit more expensive than standard 400 scale models. Having said that, I picked up both of these DC-10s from China for 640 RMB, which isn't particularly expensive. It's around $45. In the West, they're selling a lot more. I think they're closer to £60 in the UK. But considering what you're getting, it's not surprising that they have that little bit of extra cost associated with them. Certainly, they're really nice models, and it will be really nice and interesting to see where Patriot's going in the future. They obviously have the 747 SCA coming soon. The price for that is a little bit more expensive than £60 in the UK, closer to 80, I think. But again, you're getting some real extras with that model, which you're not getting from other brands. So Patriot definitely filling an interesting niche and producing some nice models from my perspective. It'll be interesting to take a closer look at the DC-10 tanker, which I haven't actually got out of the box yet, so I'll be doing that later today and hopefully writing up a review of that over either tomorrow or the coming days. But liking what I'm seeing from Patriot so far, and they do seem to be getting their stuff organized in terms of distributing these models outside of China as well. So you should be able to get them. You don't necessarily need to do what I've done and buy direct through Taobao. Okay guys, well thank you very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Just a short one to take a quick look at this interesting release and compare it with the DC-1030 that I have. Both really nice models, and this one, yeah, a definite good add to the collection. That's it from me. I'll see you next time at Yesterday's Airlines. Goodbye for now.